Naranam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiriye nashtapraye bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttam shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 22, the process of devotional service, text 55. So previous verse, Mahaprabhu said, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastri Hai, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hai. And then further, quoting from Bhagavatam, Tulyam Lavena Pina Swargam Na Punarbhavam, Bhagavata Sangi Sangasya, Martyanam Kimutashisha. The value of a moment's association with the devotee of the Lord cannot be compared even to the attainment of the heavenly planets or liberation from matter. And what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which is for those who are meant for death. So this is from Bhagavatam. This verse concerns the Vedic rites and sacrifices performed by the great sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunak Rishi. The sages pointed out that association with the devotee for even less than a second is beyond comparison to 1,000 Vedic rituals and sacrifices, elevation to heavenly planets or merging into the existence of the Supreme. So, Lavenapi. So here also, like in love matra sadhu sangha, so love is 1/11th of a second. So even that much association is good enough. Krishna Kripalu Arjunera Laksha Kariya Jagatera Rakiya Chena Upadeshatiya. Krishna is so merciful that simply by aiming his instructions at Arjuna, he has given protection to the whole world. Sarva Guya Tamam Bhuya Shrinu Me Paramam Vacha Ishto Asime Dranamiti Tato Vakshyami Te Hitam Man Mana Bhav Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru Mame Vaishyasi Satyam Te Pratijani Priyo Asime. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this, because you are my very dear friend. So this is from Bhagavad Gita. Purva Agya Veda Dharma Karma Yoga Gyam Sabha Sadhi Sheshe Ehi Agya Balo. Although Krishna previously explained the proficiency of executing Vedic rituals, performing fruitive activity as enjoined in the Vedas, practicing yoga and cultivating jnana, these last instructions are most powerful and stand above all the others. Ei agya bale bhaktera shraddha yadi hai sarva karma tyag kari say Krishna bhajai. If the devotee has faith in the strength of this order, he worships Lord Krishna and gives up all other activities. So he worships Lord Krishna means perform bhakti and gives up every other activity. Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyeta yavata mat katha shravanadova shraddha yavan na jayate. As long as one is not satiated by fruitive activity and has not awakened his taste for devotion service, by Shravadam Kirtanam Vishnu, one has to act according to the regulative principles of the Vedic injunctions. Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa Kahe Sudrina Nishay. Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krithai. Shraddha is confident, firm faith that by rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Such faith is favorable for the discharge of devotional service. So that faith, that firm faith, nishtha, is necessary. That By rendering transcendental loving service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities, means doesn't need any more yoga or gyan or anything else, just by bhakti. Firm faith and confidence are called Shraddha. When one engages in the Lord's devotional service, he is to be understood to have performed all his responsibilities in the material world. He has satisfied his forefathers, ordinary living entities, and demigods, and is free from all responsibility. Such a person does not need to meet his responsibilities separately. It is automatically done. Fruitive activity, karma, is meant to satisfy the senses of the conditioned soul. However, when one awakens to Krishna consciousness, he does not have to work separately for pious activity. The best achievement of all fruitive activity is detachment from material life. And this detachment is spontaneously enjoyed by the devotee firmly engaged in the Lord's service. But that faith has to be there, that only by devotional service. I don't need to do anything else. No karma kanda, no fruitive activity, nothing. And Krishna does take, but obviously this takes time to come to this level of firm faith. So we take baby steps, we grow gradually. And Krishna responds. Krishna does respond. Yatha tarormula nishechanena tripyanti tataskandhavujopashakha pranopahara cha yacha yathendriyana tatheva sarvara arhanam achyuteja. By pouring water on the root of a tree, one automatically satisfies the trunk, branches, and twigs. Similarly, by supplying food to the stomach, where it nourishes the life air, one satisfies all the senses. In the same way, by worshipping Krishna and rendering him service, one automatically satisfies all the demigods. Sarva arahanam achyuteja means it satisfies all the demigods. And if we want to satisfy the demigods the other way, we have 33 crore. How much we can do? No way we can worship or perform any yajna for everybody or any other puja for everybody. Cannot happen. So, by worshipping Krishna, all the demigods get satisfied. Shraddhavan jan hai bhakti adhikari, uttam madhyam kanishta shraddha anusari. A faithful devotee is truly eligible candidate for the loving service of the Lord. According to one's faith, one is classified as a topmost devotee, an intermediate devotee, or an inferior devotee. The word Shraddhavan, faithful, means understanding Krishna to be the Samam Bonam, the eternal truth and absolute transcendence. If one has full faith in Krishna and confidence in him, one becomes eligible to discharge devotional service confidentially. According to one's faith, one is a topmost, intermediate, or inferior devotee. So, Kanishta, Madhyam, or Uttam, according to one's faith. Shastra Yukte Shunipuna, Drida Shraddhayar, Uttam Adhikari Sei, Taraye Samsar. One who is expert in logic, argument, and the revealed scriptures, and who has firm faith in Krishna, is classified as a topmost devotee. He can deliver the whole world. He can deliver the whole world. Shasya Yukto cha Nipuna, Sarvatha Drida Nishchaya, Prolo Shraddhadikariya Sabhakta Uttamo Mata. One who is expert in logic and in understanding the revealed scriptures, and who always has firm conviction and deep faith that is not blind, is to be considered a topmost devotee in devotional service. So, deep faith, not blind faith, that is required. Deep faith means he has the basis of the scriptures, on the basis of on his understanding. He's expert in logic and understanding of scriptures. So he has firm conviction that devotion service is the better, and he performs devotion service. So that's a topmost devotee. Shastra yukti nahi jane dृढ़ श्रद्धावान मध्यम अधिकारी से महाभाग्यवान. One who is not very expert in argument and logic based on the revealed scriptures, but who has firm faith, is considered a second-class devotee. He also must be considered most fortunate. So not very expert in argument and logic means cannot present the scriptures properly, not to the good extent as an Uttamadhikari can, or can refute somebody's arguments. But still he has firm faith in scriptures, in Krishna, in devotional service, then he is considered a Madhyamadhikari. Yah Shastradishu Anipuna, Shraddhavan Satu Madhyam. He who does not know scriptural argument very well, but who has firm faith, is called an intermediate or second-class devotee. Yahara Komala Shraddha Sai Kanishtajan, Krame Krame Teho Bhakta Haive Uttam. One whose faith is soft and pliable is called a neophyte. But by gradually following the process, he will rise to the platform of a first-class devotee. So one whose faith is soft and pliable means sometimes he follows, sometimes he doesn't, because he doesn't have full faith in the scriptures, in bhakti. That is called Ganishthadikari. But slowly, gradually, if he stays with the process, he can rise to the platform of Uttamadhikari. Yo bhavetu komala shraddha sa kanishto nigadyate. One whose faith is not very strong, who's just beginning, should be considered a neophyte devotee. Rati prema taratmya bhakta taratam ekadasha skandhe tar kariyache lakshan. A devotee is considered superlative or superior according to his attachment and love. In the 11th canto of Bhagavatam, the following symptoms have been given. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has stated that if one has developed faith in Krishna consciousness, he is to be considered an eligible candidate for further advancement in Krishna consciousness. Those who have faith are divided into three categories: Uttam, Madhyam, and Kanishta. A first-class devotee has firm conviction in the revealed scriptures and is expert in arguing according to the Shastras. He is firmly convinced of the science of Krishna consciousness. The Madhyamadhikari, or second-class devotee, has firm conviction in Krishna consciousness, but he cannot support his conviction by citing Shastric references. The neophyte devotee does not yet have firm faith, and obviously he doesn't have that much knowledge and this knowledge of the scriptures either. In this way, the devotees are typed. The standard of devotion is also categorized in the same way. A neophyte believes that only love of Krishna or Krishna consciousness is very good, but he may not know the basis of pure Krishna consciousness, or how can one become a perfect devotee. Sometimes in the heart of a neophyte there is attraction for karma, jnana, or yoga. When he is free and transcendental to mixed devotional activity, he becomes a second-class devotee. When he becomes expert in logic and can refer to the Shastras, he becomes a first-class devotee. The devotees are also described as positive, comparative, and superlative in terms of their love and attachment for Krishna. So another way of understanding differences between devotees. It should be understood that a Madhyamadhikari, a second-class devotee, is fully convinced of Krishna consciousness but cannot support his convictions with Shastric reference. A neophyte may fall down by associating with non-devotees because He is not firmly convinced and strongly situated. The second-class devotee, even though he cannot support his position with Shastric preference, can gradually become first-class devotee by studying the Shastras and associating with a first-class devotee. See, the study of Shastras, very, very important. It's not like this is a wastage of time. I would rather be chanting, or I would rather be, well, chanting is good, or I would rather be doing something else. No. Study of Shastras and quoting the Shastras while preaching or discussing scriptures with somebody, that's a sign of Uttamadhikari. However, if the second-class devotee does not advance himself by associating with the first-class devotee, he makes no progress. There is no possibility that a first-class devotee will fall down, even though he may mix with non-devotees to preach. Conviction and faith gradually increase to make one an Uttam Adhikari, a first-class devotee. So further symptoms, 3 classes of devotees is given. Sarva bhuteshu ya pashyad bhagavad bhavam atmana, bhutani bhagavati atmani, esha bhagavat uttama. A person advanced in devotional service sees within everything the soul of souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. Consequently, he always sees the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a cause of all causes and understands that all things are situated in him. So, Sarva Bhuteshu Ya Pashyad Bhagavat Bhavam Atmana. So this is how a Uttam Bhagavat, a first-class devotee, he sees. A person advanced in devotional service sees within everything the soul of all souls. And not just that, he sees that everybody except him is engaged in pure devotional service. He thinks he's the only one who's not doing anything. And not just, he just does it as to make a point or something. No, really, this is his realization. Further, for Madhya Madhikari, Ishwarita Dadineshu Balisheshu Dushat Sucha, Prem Maitri Kripa Peksha, Yakaroti Samadhya. An intermediate, second-class devotee shows love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is friendly to all devotees, is very merciful to neophytes and ignorant people, and neglects those who are envious of devotional service. So this is a second class, Madhya Madhikari, and this is why so that he can preach properly, because an Uttama Adhikari cannot preach. He has knowledge of scriptures, and he can logically present, but preaching is different. Preaching means one preaches to innocent or those who have some curiosity. But Uttamadhikari thinks everybody is more advanced than him, so he cannot preach. But Madhyamadhikari makes these distinctions. Uttamadhikari, like Prabhupada, he came to the level of Madhyamadhikari and preached. And while preaching, he called devotees or attendees, you fools and rascals. Rascal word, practically every lecture he has used this word, rascal. Uttamadhikari doesn't use the word rascal. But Prabhupada, he was preaching and he had to make his point. He had to transform the heart, and this is how he actually convinced so many people, so many followers he had. Because the followers, yes, they listen to his speeches, like he's calling them fools and rascals, but in their heart they felt Swamiji is our well-wisher. He's not just trying to put us down by calling us fools and rascals. He's trying to uplift us. And that's how they all became interested. And third class is Archayam eva hare pujam yashodhyayate na tad bhakteshu chanyeshu sabhakta prakrita smrita. A prakrit bhakta or materialistic devotee does not purposefully study the Shastra and try to understand the actual standard of pure devotional service. Consequently, he does not show proper respect to advanced devotees. He may, however, follow the regulative principles learned from his spiritual master or from his family who worships the deity. He is to be considered on the material platform, although he is trying to advance in devotional service. Such a devotee is Bhakta Praya. Bhakta Praya means almost a devotee, a neophyte devotee or Bhakta Abhas, for he is a little enlightened by Vaishnava philosophy. This verse is also from Bhagavad. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that one who has full love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead and who maintains a good friendship with the Lord's devotees is always callous to those who envy Krishna and Krishna's devotees. Such a person is to be introduced and is to be considered an intermediate devotee. He becomes a first-class devotee when in course of advancing in devotional service, he feels an intimate relationship with all living entities, seeing them as part and parcel of the Supreme Person. But again, seeing them as part and parcel, not in some theoretical way or in a fashionable way, but this is just realizations. Sarva Mahaguna Gana Vaishnava Sharire, Krishna Bhakte Krishnera Guna Sakali Sanchare. A Vaishnava is one who has developed all good transcendental qualities. All the good qualities of Krishna gradually develop in Krishna's devotee. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati kinchana sarvair gunes tatra samasate sura harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathena sati dhavato bhahi. In one who has unflinching devotion, faith in Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and the demigods are consistently manifest. However, he who has no devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no good qualifications because he is engaged by mental concoction in material existence, which is the external feature of the Lord. So this was spoken by Prahlad Maharaj and his followers. So one who has unflinching devotional faith in Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and demigods are consistently manifest. They manifest in him. Means all the qualities, mode of goodness or beyond. These are the qualities of the soul, actually. And who has unflinching devotional faith means that the true qualities of soul are coming forth. Right now we have so many qualities which are covering the true qualities of the soul. So we have to come to that level. And these qualities will come forth. Whatever wonderful qualities Krishna has, demigods have, or what mentioned in the scriptures, they all become manifest. Okay, I guess I can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments. Okay, you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.
Hare Krishna.